Good afternoon, everyone. The market is taking a little bit of a breather after extremely volatile times over the last couple of days. I think now is a good time, in fact, to take a step back, take a look at things, take stock of things, and see how the market is reacting to this latest sell-off and see how we can best position ourselves going forward. So let's get directly into that. Currently trading at price of $77,162. That is Bitcoin, of course, here on the Coinbase spot chart. And you can see, obviously, the market has been less volatile over the last 24 hours or so than it has been over the last couple of days or so. We spoke yesterday about how we initially bounced on this weekend sell-off from nearly exactly to the dollar, the nearest significant low at $74,500 or $74,454 if you want to be really direct about it. That initial bounce took us up something like 6.14%. We are currently just selling off a little bit on the daily. That puts us down, I think, just under 2%, unless I'm mistaken. This chart isn't up to date. But in any case, the point remains the same. Okay, the market is a lot less volatile today, right from the highs of the day, down about 2.5%. I think there's a few interesting things going on here. So I want to take a look at, first of all, the liquidation landscape, because once again, that was the driver of this move. In fact, you can see it reported here by Reuters, and they are citing data from CoinGlass, I believe. $2.5 billion in Bitcoin liquidations. And I believe they are, in fact, here talking about the entire sell-off. There we go. The wipeouts in both short and long Bitcoin positions are far below the record $19 billion in crypto liquidations the market experienced after Trump announced new tariffs on China. That was, of course, this massive sell-off that I often refer to as this historic liquidation event, because it was historic. That was absolutely massive for the markets, and that is basically what's brought us down from all-time highs since October. And I agree with the headline here, okay? I agree with that assertion. This $2.56 billion is much, much smaller. And if you believe, like I do, that the time at which this is going to turn around is probably, if history serves us right, if history repeats itself, if history at least rhymes, it is going to come at the time at which most of the market is so upset that they stop throwing money on long trades. And I do think we're getting closer to that. Hard to say exactly when that time is going to be, but yeah, I mean, look what's happened. $2.56 billion versus $19 billion. Of course, the market is in a different place, but that is sort of the point that I'm getting to. The market has to be in a different place before spot-driven demand can actually turn around and take us to new all-time highs, take us to a new era of the market. And if we look at how this is lining up now, okay, today's been a much less volatile day. That goes hand in hand with what I'm talking about there, right? About even long and short liquidations of the last 24 hours of about $150 million. Nothing to write home about at all. And although yesterday, even on the one-day time frame, the Bitcoin exchange liquidation map pointed to an imbalance of long liquidation risk in the market. That is an imbalance of leveraged long positions in the market versus short. We can see now that has flipped the direction that we might expect from a short sell-off, and a short sell-off in the context of a broader sell-off, which is the weekend sell-off. And now we're looking at more shorts in the market versus longs. Cumulatively on the one-day liquidation risk map here on CoinGlass, and we know that that is mirrored on the 30-day time frame as well, looking at a disparity of about $5.62 billion worth of cumulative short liquidation risk versus $1.37 billion worth of cumulative long liquidation risk. Talking about an equal price move to either side of the market from where we are trading right now. But the point is, there are a lot more shorts in this market right now. The market is very upset about this. The market is very depressed. But the big question is, does this represent a good buying opportunity? I personally believe it does. And I personally believe it does because historically, and in my own experience, my own reference experience trying to trade this market, the odds of me being right, of me calling the bottom and going in with all of the capital I have to deploy are so slim, because so much could happen, that it makes way more sense to me to just keep accumulating over time and ramp that up a little notch. Ramp that up a notch or two, in fact, in periods where the market is very, very unhappy and when the market is down, essentially. Okay, I'll say that again. The odds of predicting the bottom The odds of accurately choosing the bottom are so slim, it makes way more sense to just take your capital that you have access to, right? Whatever money it is you have to put into the markets, whether that's the excess of your salary or disposable income. Crucially, not money that you're afraid to lose, right? Money you can afford to lose, but take that up. If it's a big lump sum of capital, split it up and just allocate it into the market over time. This is the concept of dollar cost averaging. And if you ramp that up when the market is in fear, okay, buy in fear, then you set yourself up to enjoy more of the upside when this eventually turns around. So how to invest like that, you have to have conviction that the market will turn around eventually, and that is up to you. Do your own research on that. But I'm not the only one currently looking to buy and accumulate more Bitcoin. We spoke yesterday about how MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, bought even more Bitcoin going into this latest sell-off. Been pretty good at buying just before sell-offs lately, but the point is they're still accumulating. Reported here again, CoinGlass data. This is on-chain data, by the way. Bitcoin whales bought $3 billion while 580,000 traders got liquidated. What the divide means for price, February 2026. While Twitter was flooded with panic, it was. Screenshots of wiped accounts and crypto is dead posts. Something very different was happening on-chain. And this is what you'll tend to see, right? Smart investors see panic in the market. This kind of panic, this kind of rhetoric. Crypto is dead. Extreme fear in the market. That is a flag to start buying if you're a serious long-term investor, because it means you're getting a discount on something that you believe in long-term. And if you see this cycle play out enough times, over enough bull-bear cycles, you realize this is the time to be accumulating. Something very different was happening on chain. Bitcoin whales, that is wallets holding more than 10,000 Bitcoin or more, were quietly buying. Glassstone data confirmed that mega whales maintained a light accumulation phase throughout the entire crash from $90,400 to $74,500. Meanwhile, 580,000 retail traders were liquidated, losing a combined $25 billion in leverage positions. I actually think that's a misprint. I think that's $2.5 billion if I've got my numbers right. This isn't new behavior. The oldest playbook in crypto, whales accumulate when retail capitulates. Absolutely. So we can look at the numbers a little bit more here. Whale behavior, accumulating. Mega whales, 10,000 BTC plus. Only cohort in net accumulation during the entire correction. It's the 80-20 rule. The rich get richer, basically. Large whales, 1,000 to 10,000 BTC. Number of entities holding 1,000 BTC rose from 1,200, give or take, in October 2025 to 1,300 by late January 2026. This cohort added approximately 29,600 BTC in a single week, according to Bell and Crypto. Mid-tier whales now dominate supply control, holding 7.17 million BTC. Institutional players, long-term non-exchange holder addresses doubled to 262,000 in 2 months. These addresses collectively bought over 375,000 Bitcoin in the past 30 days. And that is despite the fears that we had that MSCI would potentially be making some of these DATs ineligible for inclusion on their indices, by the way. TradingView analysis confirmed large holders bought roughly 4 times the weekly mining supply during dips. So this isn't just a pattern we're seeing right now, by the way. This is a pattern that's been playing out throughout the last couple of months, throughout this recent downtrend, we'll say. Strategy added 805 BTC, obviously. And then if you look at that in contrast to retail behavior, some of the numbers on this. Small holders less than 10 BTC, persistent aggressive selling for over a month. This cohort has been the largest net seller throughout the entire correction, reflects maximum fear and risk aversion among smaller participants. And this, unfortunately, is the retail attitude. This is why retail constantly gets abused in these situations. They come off worse in these situations. Just realized I actually need to share on screen some of the data I'm just talking through right now. Sorry about that screen share issue. So here we go. This is the story of retail, basically, right? Small holders end up capitulating and selling. Small holders are also more likely to be leverage trading, right? Trading with money that they don't have. And this is essentially a symptom of the same problem, which is trading with too much capital, or trading with capital that is meaningful for you, in the sense that if you lose it, you're going to be very upset about that. So you have much less risk tolerance when you're trading with smaller amounts of capital, but suspect generally retail is trading with a portion of capital which to them is a larger portion of what they have access to actually blow, if that makes sense, right? And thus, they're more likely to be shaken out. They're more likely to capitulate, i.e. sell out of the market. And they're more likely to use leverage irresponsibly and more likely to be forced to sell out of the market. It's the same effect, okay? Two symptoms of the same cause. 580,000 traders liquidated across 48 hours. 25 billion again. I think we said we thought that was 2.5 billion in fact. And over 90% of liquidations were long positions, and that makes perfect sense. This corroborates totally with what we were looking at over the last few days going into this sell-off. Okay, we could see, as always, looking at CoinGlass data, there was an imbalance of long liquidation in the market versus short liquidation. There was significant long liquidation risk during this buy-up, okay, and it was still there, it was lingering in the markets, and it got swept out. And no, it wasn't the biggest that we've seen, okay? Once again, as reported by Reuters, $2.56 billion versus $19 billion, which is our sort of reference record line in the sand. But it's still happening. That's the point. But anyway, the upshot of all of this is the fact that whales still seem to be accumulating, and that effect is magnified when you look at mega whales. Once again, the rich get richer. Okay, the big wallets just keep accumulating while we sell off, and they're accumulating at a discount, therefore getting more and more Bitcoin for their money. Another quick one for you here. Tom Lee. A lot of people really angry with Tom Lee after there was some dissonance between his mega bullish, always bullish outlook on the markets and what some of his analysts were saying. But nonetheless, Tom Lee's Bitmine buys the Ethereum dip even as unrealized losses top $6 billion. And I think it's really important to pay attention to the details here, right? This isn't just Tom Lee shouting about being bullish. This is putting his money, or arguably other people's money, but it's putting Bitmine's money where their mouth is, essentially. They are actually buying into the dip. And they're buying into the dip with conviction, even as unrealized losses top $6 billion. Publicly traded Ethereum treasury firm Bitmine, the largest Ethereum treasury firm, by the way. Bitmine Immersion Technologies acquired another 41,788 ETH, valued at around $96 million over the last week, as its unrealized losses continue to mount as the price of the crypto asset craters. So there we go. Whales accumulating, retail selling. In my opinion, we are going to get to a point where, and we're already reaching a point arguably, where retail is running out of steam to sell. First in terms of liquidations, and second in terms of these small wallets just draining Bitcoin, basically. Right now, from where we are at this exact moment in time, there is significantly more short side liquidation risk in the markets. That is to say, if prices find a bid, if we get just a little bit higher from where we are now, we might see a rather rapid reversal of some of this move. And that is as some of those short positions start to become liquidated. When a short position becomes liquidated, they are essentially forced to buy onto the market via the mechanics of exchange leverage trading. Nonetheless, I expect slightly lower volatility over the next few days, potentially over the next 24 hours or so. We are approaching this low here, which is significant. Okay, $74,500. Do watch that like an eagle. If we surpass that, I think it is likely that we go further. But I don't necessarily expect a massive liquidation-driven move just because of the way the liquidation map is looking now, right? Down at $74,500. There's just not that much more juice to squeeze from the liquidation orange. I think I've used that analogy twice now, but you get my point, right? We're down to about $650 million, call it, of long side liquidation risk on the 1 day cumulative time frame. As always, stay safe out there. Purely my opinion, shared just for entertainment purposes, but thank you so much for watching. Plenty more to come. Catch you in the next one.